Cowboy Nation. Let's do this again. Grind low, strive high. Let's go. Let that beat come. Yeah. Right. Let the room fill up. You're listening to LAW Nation. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. LAW Nation. Let's go. Like a cowboy party, cause a cowboy party don't stop. Cowboy Nation, let's go. Let's go. All right. And we got enough people in this room. What you do? Hit them with the... All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. Shout out to everybody. Thank you all for tuning in to the nation. It seems like I may have a little delay here, but hey, my thing is we're going to continue to grind. We're going to continue to shine. Matter of fact, so that we can have a proper show, let me know if you guys can see me. If not, I probably have to restart everything. But let me know before I do that, per se, because I don't want to start all over. But sometimes you got to do that in life. Shout out to you all. Thank you all. Shout out to all of the notification squad. Really appreciate you all. Happy Friday, too. We got to figure out a way, right? You can see me. You guys can feel me early in the morning. I hope you got your coffee. Let me know if you do. And we're going to tune right on into the philosophy and the theory. Oh, I'm good. Okay, Chris. Okay, I thought it was something wrong with my system. And sometimes when there's something wrong with your system, you have to really restart. I got a red arrow over here. I'm going to let everything kind of juice back up and pick back up before I start. Because I don't want to get into details and then I have to restart. You know how they go, Cowboy Nation. We waiting on G, so we don't have to get on O, right? So we stay on G because we're ready to go. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to those who are moderating as well. All right, so Mike McCarthy did an interview earlier this morning. And he talked on things as it relates to like the grand philosophy of the Dallas Cowboys on 105.3 The Fan. Shout out to them for they are the official radio station of the Dallas Cowboys, and they spoke glowingly of the guy. And of course, we want to listen in to them. But before I go into the system, I have to see why my stream is lagging right quick. So just give me a few seconds here. Let me see if I can do some back end things. And that's why we need a producer, right? Yeah, that's why we need one. Eventually we will get one, Cowboy Nation. It's just a matter of time, right? And that's all we have, time, as we can try to rewind to the good things that help us grow along the way. But it's not lagging over here. Okay, it just must be on my end. Let's listen to this thing.
That they have. Did Mike McCarthy talk to Jerry about interference? Don't you have to ask that? Don't you have to say, Jerry, there's a stigma out there that, you interfere or, you undercut the coach by talking on the radio multiple times a week. Don't you have to ask that question? That's what I want to ask Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I guess you would have to. At least you want to know what the organizational structure is. I think the organizational structure here is okay.
All right.
I think the procedures a little fouled up.
Like Jane Slater yesterday on the KNC Masterpiece relaying this story as a Cowboys reporter.
I had seen a screenshot exchange between Jason Garrett and a player where a player basically told Jason to F off and had basically been said, like, Jerry told me I don't have to listen. And so it's things like that.
Wow.
That, if that was going on and players thought that they could go over the coach's head, you're sort of tying the coach's hands.
Ugh.
Hey, that's crazy for a player to have the gall, you know what I'm saying? The temerity, the audacity, not of hope, but to say to the head coach, F off, I wish that I was in a position of coaching and somebody have those type of cojones, regardless of who they are, they're going to tell me I'm the head coach, is to tell me that? You think they're going to play again under my watch? I don't care. They're going to be breaking news. Oh, why did you get fired? Why did you get fired? Why did Jerry Jones fire you? Because this guy right here said this about me, and I had to teach him, and I had to put him in his situation. And we already know from A to Z that this guy, Jason Garrett, was not that person. And this is what I want to do. I want everybody that can hear my voice and that can see me right now, let's rest in peace, Coach Clapping at the bottom of the screen. Let's rest in peace, because now it's time for a new era. Now it's time for new beginnings. Hey, it's 2020. We're going to leave the clapping behind, and now we got to bring up something else, right? So what we're going to do is, this should be the last time we see that clapping image, and we got to resurrect a new image. Although I will say this, the new image that you guys going to see at the bottom of my screen won't be the same color. It just be something different. So what I want to say to you all, check this out. I want to see some RIPs, claps, emojis in the chat before I move on. RIP clap, RIP clap. Let's rest in peace. Let's go ahead and get this out the way before we go on with this particular show, because it's time out for docility. I don't like to be docile at all. We want to be the approaching. We want to be able to be like a bull rushing through this thing. A lion. A lion does not ask a gazelle, can I have a piece, of the backside? Can I have a piece of it? And you already know what I was about to say. But since it's still early in the morning, can I have a piece of that, that backside? No, a lion goes and take. And I see enough RIPs. Yes. So, bye-bye. And let's bring in the new era. Yeah, we want somebody that can identify with us. Now, although I love the image, I hate talking about the image of the mentality. And for those who can't see, who got to squint a little bit, let me see if I can help you out just a little bit, and we'll string it back. You guys see that right here? That's what I want to see. I want to see some aggressions, some tenacity, some anger, some, hey, what you saying? Look how he got the man backpedaling like the late great Gregory Hines, or backpedaling like Deion Sanders. There's tap dancing everywhere. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we want to see. This is what we should see. And we're going to string it back for those who get the understanding. Only part that I don't like about that image is that green. I just can't stand. The only time I want to touch green when it's money, or when I walk outside and I want to see the green grass on my yard. You see, but this is the new era. We not gonna fold up like lawn chairs, right? So no more clapping, right? No more clapping. I don't know if you can find an emoji that can equivalent or equate to this image down below, but that is going to be the new mentality, the new era, you see. Hey, you see how that ref scared? All right, let's listen to more what they got to say.
That doesn't sound great.
The enforcer,
now, I'm sure that, it's like in your own building, right? Some people are tight with the GM.
Yep.
Some people are tight with the boss. Some people are tight with the second boss, in terms of the chain of command. So I'm sure that GMs, which Jerry still is, not just the owner, players do probably send GMs messages just like they do the coach, right? Mm-hmm. It's the role of the GM to say, hey, you got to steer this back to the coach.
Right.
I brought you in here. I'm giving you the contract, but it's got to be one voice. That has been a major Cowboy criticism forever.
Yeah, right. I don't know how that works. I mean, truthfully, I've never, like, for example, I don't even have our boss's phone number.
Brian Purdy?
Yeah, I don't even have it. I don't even know what it. I mean, I know where his office is.
Yeah.
I don't have his phone number. I never asked for it. It was never given to me. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Right.
Like, why would you have Jerry's phone number if you're a player?
Jerry give out those
He's
phone
the
numbers.
GM.
Yeah, he is the GM.
I guess you get it through your agent, but like, I don't know. I just always found that as odd.
All right, let's bring in the 9th head coach in Dallas Cowboys history, Mike McCarthy.
Hey, this is going to be Mike McCarthy. He's going to join in to 105.3 The Fan. This is his first official interview on the station. So what we're going to do in this particular format, I'm going to let them play, and then I'll give you guys my evaluation for the nation on what transpired. Let's go.
Joining us on Sean and RJ, the official home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you two doing?
We're doing pretty well. Looking forward to a long run of interviews throughout your coaching tenure here. Mike, what did you need to hear from the Joneses to sell you more on this job? Obviously, you wanted it, but what was important for you to hear from Jerry and Steven in order to make you feel even more comfortable coming here?
Well, I think number one, like all of us in this industry, you study each opportunity, and this, in my view, is clearly the best opportunity. So you look at everything as far as obviously the personnel and facilities, and the history and tradition here speaks for itself. But really, once you get into the interview process, especially with Jerry and Steven and Jerry Jr., it just really felt natural. I thought that we connected very quickly, and with that, when you start talking about vision and how you want to move forward, and as far as how I did things in the past, and how they, we're going to present resources to move forward. I thought it was a very, very natural fit.
So, Mike, we have Jerry on our show every Tuesday. Steven comes on the station. He'll be on today at noon with the Kansas City Masterpiece. And we've talked to Jerry about this before, but we want your take. The perception that Jerry interferes, the perception that Jerry and his voice, while talking so much, undermines the head coach. How much of that was a factor for you, and how do you view that stigma around Jerry talking?
Well, I think like anything in life, you have to get in there and make your own judgments, but I've seen zero evidence of that. And the people that I've talked to that have worked here and know Jerry on a professional level, everybody was very complimentary of Jerry, and it doesn't take very long to see the commitment and the passion in his eyes, and he wants to win, and he wants to win more than anybody. And then at the end of the day, as an NFL head coach, that's all you can ask for from your owner.
Mike McCarthy joining us on Sean and RJ, 105.3 The Fan. Coach, we assume that you're going to be calling the plays. We know in Green Bay you gave that up for more of a CEO role. Jason Garrett did the same thing here. So how do you balance that? Awesome play caller, that's your expertise, versus the CEO responsibilities. How do you weigh that?
Well, I think like every opportunity, and I'm coming from an opportunity that was for 13 years. So I've had a year to reflect on every component of my coaching staff, and job responsibility, description, and so as we start to build this new staff, a lot of those experiences and a lot of those thoughts will be applied. So right now I'm just looking to build the best staff, a great staff here to make sure our players are getting everything they need to win.
Have you decided that you'll be calling the plays?
Well, like I said, we're looking at everything, and I love calling plays. So, but once again, every decision that will be made will be in the best interest of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Now, so far, I'm getting a little PC answers here and there, and of course, the guy haven't yet to coach up anybody yet as it relates to silver and blue. So, I don't think that coming off the gate that he's going to say this about Jerry Jones or that about Jerry Jones. But one thing that I can tell you for sure, that dog it, I'm glad that I didn't hear, how you doing, guys? I'm just glad that we didn't hear that. Let me know if you guys feel in the same situation. But there are some PC answers or responses so far. But he did not give up a lot of information as it relates who's going to be calling the plays. Why come out now? It's still January the 10th, for crying out loud. So he's just going to pull back a little bit, but let's see what he have to say from here.
Coach, how different is your scheme compared to the one the Cowboys have run?
Well, I think scheme is a little bit overrated, because I'm more interested to make sure we are fitting everything to our players. I think the personnel, operation and how how you're able to be involved in that process is a great opportunity for myself and my coaching staff. So I'm really looking forward to talking about the profiles of what a Dallas Cowboy player looks like and adding to this to this excellent roster that we already have. So so when we do that, I think a lot of things will move forward from that.
So over your time with the Packers, you were about 60-40 pass to run ratio.
60-40.
Was that because of the players that you had, like with Aaron Rodgers, or is that something that you just kind of believe in that and you'll continue that here?
Well, I'm a believer that how much you run the football and how much you pass it really is it's an expression of your whole football team. At the end of the day, from a coach's perspective, we're going to do what we feel we need to win, and that's putting our players in the best position to be successful. And it's really, Aaron Rodgers is a great player, so you give great players as many opportunities as you can. So I never really was concerned about what the numbers look like, because at the end of it, you have to run the football in this league to be successful. So, and if you run at 40% or if you run at 50%, at the end of the day, is the quality of it is what's most important. So.
Hey, what he's saying is quality over quantity. And then on top of that, what he's alluding to is this right here. He is pretty much saying that if Aaron Rodgers is the best player on my team, I'm going to let Aaron Rodgers win the game. That's wisdom, Cowboy Nation. I can't put it in other terms. That is understanding of the football. If Ezekiel Elliott is the best person out there on the field, then guess what? Feed Ezekiel Elliott. If Dak Prescott is hot, then we're not going to go to something that's cold. That's all that he's saying, and that's all that he's lamenting at this particular moment. Let's listen to more what he have to say. Come on, computer.
Do one thing to protect.
It snapped up on me. Let's see
for this weekend, right? Mm-hmm. So Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame offensive mind. There's no debating that. He's a.
Come on. Well, we're gonna have to wait. My bad, Cowboy Nation. But that's what he's saying. I should never stopped it. But let's see if I can find the clip back, and we're gonna listen to more what he had to say to conclude that actual interview right there.
Hall of Fame offensive mind. And he's been called out for game management situations. That's the knock against Andy Reid. If Andy Reid wasn't the play caller, how much would the Chiefs' offense be hurt? That's the question. If
I don't think at all.
Fresh. God, and we were live with the interview. Spoils of war. But that's what he was saying, Cowboy Nation. And with that being said, there's probably the end of that interview, believe it or not. So, how do you guys feel about everything from A to Z?
Those guys and really get the message out there about the teams we've grown up watching and loving.
Can I still ask him about his laugh on the hot mic?
If you think you have a better question than mine, then yes, you can. Because
I'll sit back and enjoy.
I presented my question to the boss, and he said, "Don't ask that, Corey." So we'll see if that works out that way. Mike McCarthy. It just kept going.
Yeah, they talking about that laugh. Let me see if I can re-find it somewhere else, man. Apologize. Charge it to my head, not my heart. You guys know how this thing go. Murphy Law always into the effect. Let me see if I can find it this way. Really appreciate you all. Do y'all know what the name of that station? We gonna find it. It wasn't Galvin. It was Sean and RJ, right? Fourth and G-Bag. Nah, not that one. There we go. Garrett. Jerry, Brian Broadus. Nah, come on. The NFL, the rewind button went away from me. All right, so this is what we're going to do right quick, Cowboy Nation. We're going to bounce right on back with this information. But I want to be able to show you all this, too, before we conclude on everything. When we talk about actual quarterbacks and the stat philosophy of the head coach and where he came from, I want you guys to look at that. the 2006 Green Bay Packers. I do know that this team is a whole lot different than the 2006 Green Bay Packers, the 2007 Green Bay Packers, the 2008. But what I want to show you all, that we don't see that consistent 8-8 flavor. Now, on top of that, we can't fool around and say to ourselves that this particular team, that the Green Bay Packers head coach during that time frame only won games because of Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that you get these type of records by mistake. I just don't see that coming out of just the head coach saying that, okay, we're going to rely and we're going to relate everything as relates to flavor for the nation and flavor for everything that goes left and right only on the onus of the quarterback. I think that this is also, when you look at the total record per se, you can look at it and say these type of things, that this particular guy helped elevate and develop Aaron Rodgers to be the Aaron Rodgers as it relates to who he is to this day. Law, what are you coming from? Well, if you look at these particular records here, of course, now that particular division, that particular conference you had during those time frames, remember Chicago Bears, they were nobody to sneeze at. They were nobody to sneeze at all. And then on top of that, when you look at the total picture, this guy, he was able to go 8-8, right? First year. 13-3 the second year as the head coach. 6-10. Oh, what a blunder. Oh, everything must be lost. And then 09, 11-5. And then in 2010, as you guys can see, ultimately winning the Super Bowl. How did they get to that Super Bowl? Oh, wild card. You see those playoff wins right there? One can say, well, you got those playoff wins because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers, no, the defense stepped up. Everybody have to step into the mix. Coming off the Super Bowl, 15-1. I tell a lot of people in 2011, I can't stand the Green Bay Packers. You guys know I can't. But you don't go 15-1 by mistake. It doesn't just fall into your grace and say, okay, I'm 15-1 by mistake. 11-5, 8-7-1. That was the year that they had a tie game or what have you. And these situations, 12-4, 10-6, 10-6, 7-9, 4-7, and he got the boot. He was fired mid-season. And we never know what would have happened if he'd have played out the entire deal, though. Well, I think he played out the entire deal, 4-7-1. So my thing is, yes, 2 back-to-back horrible outputs. One can say that they burned down a lot of bridges. I can tell you this right quick. The Green Bay Packers, and even some sports right now, their defense very suspect. Now, we will see what Aaron Rodgers, his legacy, and all that he, I guess if you would say, if he so happened to lose, I guess, do they play tomorrow or they play Sunday? If they so happen to lose, then it will be a situation whereas, the guy is pulling a Peyton Manning. Remember, Peyton Manning will win all of those games as it relates to quote-unquote regular season, then get into the playoff and fold up like a wallet. And this is, of course, not an indictment on Aaron Rodgers, because we already know that he's a bad man. He is. But what I'm always trying to say is, what I'm trying to put out there to the universe, is that now we got some football knowledge out here. We got a coach who just wasn't given the position. I want to install this into your mind, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, Natasha. Shout out to you, Q. Really appreciate you, Michael. Thank you, Fred Williams. Yes, 105.3 The Fan. And then let's go all the way up here. Let's see where you started from, because a lot of times people got to understand where you began in order so you can understand, so you can know who this person is all about. All right, so when we look at this total picture right here, as a head coach or as a coach, he started off in 1987. Through 1988, graduate assistant. Then from Pittsburgh, 1989 to 91, graduate assistant. Pittsburgh, 1992, wide receivers coach. What do you guys are seeing here? This is not a guy that's all of a sudden got a position and said, okay, hey, here you go. No, in Kansas City in 1993, he started off as an offensive quality control coach, meaning that he worked out with Marty Schottenheimer. He was able to pick up and identify some life experience, some football stuff, and then he squeezed that stuff over to 1999 for Green Bay Packers, quarterbacks coach. And then on top of that, if you think about it, this was the installment of the West Coast offense. And with that being said, West Coast offense is always designed to make the quarterback look better. It's easy throws, it's short throws, and then it's carving you up with the tiny throws to hit you up with the big throw down the line. That's what the Steve Bonos did, Elvis Gerbacks of the world, and also Joe Montana did in those parameters of time. And then you fast forward to 1999 with Green Bay Packers. He was the quarterback coach. You can pull up the stats. Stats, okay, are like a guided measurement point. My brother from another mother from Mississippi, Brett Favre, he had his best year in 1999. Why? Why? Because knowledge is just like power. It cannot be created nor destroyed, just like energy. It can only be transferred. And what he did was he transferred his knowledge and his experiences, his information and learning and knowledge of the game over to your brother from another mother who wore number 4, Brett Favre. That's why he had a great year during that time frame in 1999, coming off of a Super Bowl win, because I think they won the Super Bowl in 97, 98, something like that, right? So he's coming off of that Super Bowl high. And then you have New Orleans from 2000 to 2004. I want you guys to Google Aaron Brooks. Now, some of the fickle New Orleans Saints fans out here, they probably don't know who Aaron Brooks is. They probably don't even know who Deuce McAllister is. They probably don't even know who Ricky Williams is, you see. But that was him, the offensive coordinator from 2000 to 2004, and then got the offensive coordinator position in 2005 to ultimately to get promoted to being the Green Bay Packers head coach. And now in 2020, you see him as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, so that's what I have to pull up, Cowboy Nation. I apologize that the interview went away, but you guys check it out on 105.3 The Fan. Here you go. I think I can find it back. I hope this is it right here, Cowboy Nation. If not, then we'll roll on out of here, man. We roll up out of here, man. And let me see it. This could be it right here. Let me see. It could be it right here. Let me see.
67% success rate. Like, it's skyrocketing.
Let me see.
Like that.
A little bit in terms of wanting your coach to be the CEO. Let's take it to Kansas City for this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if
certain quarterbacks will
2 on the scoreboard.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Arizona State.
That is,
No.
You can take that away from me because
Yeah,
I didn't
we'll
let you
take that.
finish.
What I'll do is once I find it back on the internet airways, we will bring this topic back up. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all. I got to get back to what I'm doing over here. Any other questions before I go? Let me give a shout out to everybody. 1996. Yeah, Albert, the Super Bowls are split into 2, so 96, 97 or 97, 98. So I really appreciate you for that information, though. 2017 is when Roger went down for the season. Yeah. Not everybody's able to bounce back around like you Bill Belichick's of the world. Or somebody better not say, well, not like even 2016 when you had the quote-unquote Dak Prescott to step into the mix. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Andrew says radio app sucks. Normally I have it pre-recorded and then I go and jump back, but I try to do it the easy way of not saving some data on this desktop. But it is what it is. Yes, indeed, Cowboy Nation. That's all the time that I have for this brief, quick show. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. Let's continue to grind. Grind low, strive high, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. Let's go. Yes. They say, ain't no party like a cowboy party, 'cause a cowboy party don't stop. Let's go. Hey, y'all see it? Yeah. Yeah. Get your coffee up, baby. Yes. Full charge. I don't want to draft a slot wide receiver right about now. We need to draft some guys that's in the interior. Yes. That's going to be the next episode, baby. Yeah. Let me just say this right quick. As far as drafting, look, we need to get some guys that's going to be in the interior, the core. Defensive tackle, linebacker, safety. That's what we need, baby. Yeah.